version because today we are talking about an opera, Phantom of the Opera, to be precise, and just my story with this, story. And I obviously have here a few props to help me illustrate it better. And I decided to make this video because, I mentioned on a few occasions that it's a pretty important topic for me, and also some of you may notice that I'm making a second series on my channel as a second video of the week where I just read through the entire Old Polish version of the Phantom of the Opera, of the book. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit more and in detail about, me and the Phantom. So let's just start. And the first thing, I have to start with this album. This is Nightwish's Century Child, an album which features a cover of the Phantom of the Opera that they did. Actually, I stumbled upon this on End of an Era, but I don't have End of an Era, so I decided to go for this. And simultaneously, I also found Nightwish and symphonic metal in general. And since I really liked their cover, I quickly decided to check out the original because that's what I usually do when I find a nice cover. I check out the original. And I fell in love immediately. I quickly started googling what exactly Phantom of the Opera is, because obviously I heard about the thing before, and I knew that it has something to do with the theater, not just because of the name, but never really got into it. So this is where I started going a little bit more in depth, and I think it was 2013. And when I started to dig into it, I very quickly found a Polish cast recording, and the recording, to be precise, which I found when I started googling the Phantom of the Opera, when I went for the original, was the version sung by the glorious Edyta Krzemień and Tomasz Steciuk. This is also how I found them. And to say that I fell in love from the first hearing would be an understatement. From the first note, Edyta Krzemień became my angel of music, and I knew that I won't ever find a better singer. So, this CD I got is from the main cast, Damian Alexander and Paulina Janczak as Phantom and Christine, because the version with Steciuk and Krzemień were only on the original run of the CD back when the Phantom premiered in Poland in 2018. It was 2008, sorry. So, I don't have that one, but still. And of course, not only I found out about the play and the Polish cast, but also about the infamous movie of Joel Schumacher. However, unpopular opinion, I personally find the movie to be great, but there's one huge but. Of course, not the singing, but the cinematography, the arrangements and the music, production-wise and orchestra-wise, and acting is great. The only problem is, that there are no musical actors, they are just regular actors, so they obviously lack the skill to sing such difficult parts. But there is nothing a simple dubbing cannot issue I have with this movie. The rest, I would say, is either great or at least acceptable. But of course, what I found out was not only the controversial movie, but like I said, it was 2013. But it was also close to the 25th anniversary show, which I guess cemented my love for Phantom of the Opera, because, well, until that moment, I was just a regular metalhead. I was 15. I lived in a small town, never really going to the theater, because, well, our theater, we had like just a handful of plays going over and over. But like there was like one or two maybe that I liked, so you know how many times you can go. So until that time, I've never really seen a big theatrical production, not even on a CD or any other recording. And suddenly I stumble upon this, and well, I think you all know how the 25th anniversary show looked like. If not, I highly recommend you take a look. It's truly something mesmerizing. And well, Ramin Karimloo, Zero Bogus, of course, breathtaking as Phantom and Christine. They are not playing, they are those characters. And I think, like all of the things I show you here, you know, the 25th anniversary DVD, the 2004 movie DVD, and the album, I got like within maybe half a year, or maybe even closer. So that was also, you know, like the major point when I saw this. But of course, I also, alongside the musical, got to know the book, and I was really determined to get the book. And well, it was autumn, I believe, when I found out the Phantom of the Opera. By spring, I had this book. It is the Polish version of the Phantom of the Opera. I think this is edition from, yeah, it's from 1919. And I remember I read this in one day, which, well, I know this book doesn't really strike as a thick one, because it isn't. And, well, I have to say that as much as I like reading, I am a slow reader, and to read all of this, it took me 6 hours. But I went through in one sitting, and to be honest, I was very much surprised by how the characters are in the book, because, well, the musical and the book have in common only the character names, really, because they behave in a totally different way. But I recommend you read it yourself, especially if you liked Phantom of the Opera. And regarding books, I, of course, have to show off again my old version that I'm reading through on the second video of the week. The Polish rendition, 1948. But I have to really start taking greater care of it, because it's really starting to fall apart a bit. And also about the movies, I have to go back and say that I also quickly found the 1925, the 1943, and all the other movie versions of the Phantom of the Opera. And like I watched them almost immediately. I think within a month or two I had them all watched. Maybe apart from the series from the 1991, but you know, this maybe took like additional, like, I don't know, 2-3 weeks maybe. Anyway, very quickly I watched through it all. And well, the different versions of Phantom's story also really took my heart, and I don't know what is it, maybe it's the motive itself, but I just couldn't find a single version that I wouldn't find at least one thing that I liked. So, and well, at this point I was a totally Phantom freak, and I even made my own costume of the Phantom of the Opera. I'm not going going to show here its entirety because I don't have all the parts, but I made my own masks, which are not of course of great quality. I made them out of cardboard, but I want to show you them anyways. So the first one is my main Phantom's mask, and yeah, I was dressing up for Halloween as the Phantom of the Opera for like several years straight, wearing all the different masks and versions and combinations. So this is the first mask that I've got. This mask is based on the Claude Rains Phantom from 1943, which is probably one of my favorite Phantom of the Opera versions. And his story, I would no shame put on maybe even a second place, right after the book / 1925 movie version, because 1925 movie is really the best in terms of showing the book on film. This is literally the almost one-to-one plot. The difference is only at the ending, but I don't want to spoil, so I'm not saying anything else. But right on the second spot, I would put Claude Rains Phantom. I loved everything, the backstory, and how the Phantom came to be, and how it ended, and all of that. And I also really liked, the concept of this mask. And I love this maybe because the Claude Rains' Phantom is like somewhere in between the Lloyd Webber's musical and the book. And the mask is also very similar to what I picture the book Phantom wearing, aside from the fact that obviously this one is white and it is set that book Phantom wore black mask. But I still, like it really because it covers the entire face. This is not this, half mask. And maybe this is also why I like it, because this design reminds me of the original mask meant for the musical. So this is it, and like I said, I consider this my main mask. Then I made the string is coming off. I made this. This is meant to be the mask of Red Death that Phantom wears on the masquerade in the opera house. And this I based on the Polish version of the mask. And it was really hard to make, not just because I really had to, fit my face, but also I had a very limited source material, because, well, obviously I've seen Phantom of the Opera live, about that a little bit later, but, the pictures or filming is prohibited. So all I had were just some glimpses from the other people's recording, usually in a very, very poor quality, that I couldn't see any details of the mask. And I had like one few seconds clip from the local TV from the city where the Phantom was being played. But still, you have to remember, it's 2011, 2013 when I got this. I think the clip was from 2011, from Poland. So there's no 4K, there's barely 1080, and I don't even know if my display at that time could even support full 28, full HD. So still the quality wasn't really that simple. Effect being that the mask is probably off in few places. But obviously it's as good as 15-year-old me with no skills for practical arts, limited material, and cardboard could make. But I still like this mask. And fun fact, especially to have the Red Death dress as well, the cape that I had made, it was made two-sided with red on the inside. So when I wear this, I looked a bit like like the movie Phantom with red on the inside, because as we know, during the play. Phantom has golden inside, but I just thought that it doesn't really bother me that much, and I could just flip it and switch the shirt and all here from the black and white to red and yellow, and I was a red death, and also, yes, like I said, I had this cape made. It was made by my lovely grandma, and well, this is just one of the few things that she helped me made regarding costumes, which I know I will be forever grateful to her. So there's this mask, and then my version of the Polish cast mask, the half mask, and the amount of trial and error I had to go through to make this properly is just insane. It took me the longest time to figure out how to make it. I tried many different ways, it was always something off. In the end, I have to show you the inside. I mean, now I haven't been really wearing this for a long time, so it's flattened. But originally, all those cardboard things you see now were made to reinforce this. Also, whenever I wanted to wear it, I would tape a double-sided tape here in a few places to simply make it stick to my face better, because it was always coming off. I had this cardboard piece which I would have to bend here on the forehead piece, and also the string, as you can see, is made in this triangle here. It went behind my ear, but I think it was like, I don't even know which generation of that mask. And in the end, like I said, I made it in the Polish version, because the Polish version mask doesn't have this nose thingy, because I tried to recreate the mask from Broadway, which goes further here in the forehead and covering the nose and upper lip and stuff. But it was just too difficult, especially the nose part. It was always coming off without anything supporting it from the other side. And this is also probably why I decided to, in the end, just make the 1943 mask, and probably why that mask ended up being my main one. But people recognize this as Phantom of the Opera anyway, luckily. But I still decided to make it. I think I wore it like once or twice, because like I said, this was really a pain to wear it. But I still kept it because, well, this is the iconic half mask, right? And also at some point I started to messing around with the Phantom's design and making a few things, in my own way. I remade the Phantom in different aesthetics. I had, for example, a sci-fi one, a little bit more contemporary one, and a steampunk one, because there was a moment where I really loved steampunk aesthetics. And actually, at some point, I wanted to put together the Steampunk Phantom, of which lasting memoir is this mask. This was never finished, just like the outfit. But you can see where I was going with this, the cogwheels, one around the eye and one here on the forehead. Here like a mini pipe, going over the cheek. I think it was meant to end either under the nose or on the lip. But from what I can see, I never even made it to the wearing point, because it has no attachments in the back really to wear it. I mean, there is a hole cut, but clearly no string was put through it. So this mask will probably remain unfinished, as a memoir of that time. Because, well, nowadays I really, don't have time to mess around with the costumes, and probably if I was ever to remake it, I would have made it differently. From maybe more professional material than cardboard. But I still like the mask, and I still like and want to keep it. So further, like I said, I've been to the Phantom of the Opera 2 times. The first time was, I think, 2013, I think, or 14. And the the second time was, I think, 2015. Anyway, I remember it was, I think, a year by year, and or maybe or maybe after 2 years. I don't remember exactly, but both times were in Opera and Philharmonia Podlaska in the city of Białystok in northeastern Poland. This is where the Phantom is being played, and from both times, here and here, I have kept my tickets in this, framed way, not just stuck to the wall, as I do with my other tickets. I wanted them to be displayed, more openly, and since, of course, the frame is a little bit huge, I also have my Roger Waters ticket here, which is, one of my most important tickets. But about that, maybe on another occasion. Well, here, this thing is not really a ticket. This is just a flyer that was, given to the visitors at the opera. But I wanted to have this one because here is the cast precisely on the performance that I've seen. So it was 17th of May at 7 p.m. Phantom, Damian Aleksander, Christine, Paulina Janczak, Hołd Szeni, Bartłomiej Bochnicki, Carlotta Giudicelli, Agnieszka Dondajewska, Ubaldo Piangi, Przemysław Borys, Richard Firmin, Grzegorz Pierczyński, Gilles André, Tomasz Stedziuk, Meg Jury, Hanna Rożankiewicz, Madame Jury, Anita Stedziuk, Józef Bouquet, Bogdan Kordy. Yeah. So there was that. And here's the tickets from the second time I went to the show. The cast was the same. And well, of course, my dream is to go and see a show on Broadway and in Her Majesty's Theatre, because it's in the unchanged form. But I got to say, I've seen some recordings of both shows, and okay, there's nothing really to say about Her Majesty's Theatre because this is kept unchanged since the premiere. But to be honest, I prefer the Polish version than the Broadway one. It's more magical, so to speak. More like some sort of a fantasy fairy tale, but in a good way. However, I think that, of course, in the Phantom of the Opera versions are so different from country to country that you can absolutely say that you don't like the Polish version and prefer any other. I'm not saying that one version is better. I am saying that one version is better than the other, but this is just my personal opinion. No hard feelings, guys. But, of course, I have to also say that I was a huge nerd in terms of Phantom of the Opera. I have many different stuff. I even have the computer game, the Phantom of the Opera. The game probably won't ever hold up to the modern standards because this is this very old game. I don't know when it was made. Probably late 90s, early 2000s, because this is the detective game, the point-and-click one. But it was really fun to play anyway. And I have this one here, Le Fantôme de l'Opéra, the board game. However, don't be scared by the name in French. The rule book is in English, and it's in a Mr. Jack system, but of course very elaborative here. And the general rules and how to play it, maybe I will show in a different video because there's a lot. And well, it is pretty complex, but when you actually play it, it actually gets easier. So it is only scary to read. But I really love this game, and well, not to brag, but when I'm playing as Phantom, I'm really good at it. Because basically one player is a phantom and the other player is a detective who tries to find him. And of course, you know, I bought it at the point where I was just looking for any gadgets regarding Phantom of the Opera. And this is also how I found about the computer game, because I simply wanted to have everything. And there's a funny story in that, because, you know, at some point when a few of my friends had anything, you know, to ask about Phantom of the Opera, they were simply going to me, because they knew that I will know about it. And I still remember how one of my friends who also really liked Phantom of the Opera, we actually bonded over it, just, you know, blatantly asked me if I had some, like, you know, if I had saved recording of the title track sung by some two actors. That version was, you know, really hard to find, and they really wanted it. And, you know, of course I had this version because I had everything. I literally somewhere have even today, I have somewhere a folder titled 50 Shades of Phantom, where I just have, I think, way over 50 at this point versions of the title track sung, probably in every English version of the combination of the cast, and of course a few Polish too. And, you know, they would just, you know, blatantly ask me if I had this one. Obviously I had what they were asking for, but like only after a while I was like, hold on, how did you know I will have it in the first place? And they were like, dude, you have everything about the Phantom. I knew that if there is one person around who will have this recording, it's you. So yeah, I was a total freak at that point, but I honestly took huge pride in this, you know. The Phantom helped me develop very much, you know, as a musician as well, because it showed me this side of musical theater. You know, that it's not just singing in the rain and you know, that kind of things, but also some more serious plays. And you know, it showed me the way into the classical music, into learning music theory, you know, and the motif of the Phantom of the Opera, and like neighboring motifs are still today, you know, very dear to my heart. This is also maybe why I love tricksters and anti-heroes. So yeah, that was it about the Phantom of the Opera and me. However, of course, I wouldn't be myself, and I couldn't just leave you like that. So if you want to listen to, I'm going to sing you a small lullaby song, one of the songs from the musical. But if you don't want to listen to it, because obviously I understand I am not a great singer, you have been warned, feel free to turn off the video now, and I wish you all a good night and sweet dreams and rest. Bye bye. Night time sharpens, heightens each sensation. Darkness wakes and stirs imagination. Silently descends some abandon their defenses, helpless to resist the notes I write. For I compose the music of the night. Slowly, gently, night unfurls its splendor. Grasp it, sense it, tremulous tender. Hearing is believing. Music is deceiving. Heart as lightning soft as candlelight. Dare you trust the music of the night? Close your eyes, for your eyes will only tell the truth, and the truth isn't what you want to see. In the dark it is easy to pretend. What's the truth is what it ought to be. Softly, deftly, music shall caress you. Hear it, feel it, secretly possess you. Open up your mind and let your fantasies unwind in this darkness which you know you cannot fight. The darkness of the music of the night. Close your eyes, start a journey through a strange new world. Leave all thoughts of the world you knew before. Close your eyes and let music set you free. Only then can you belong to me. Floating, falling, sweet intoxication. Touch me, trust me, savor each sensation. Let the dream begin. Let your darker side give in the power of the music that I write. The power of the music of the night. You alone can make my song take flight. Help me make the music of the